Internet of Things, nanotechnology and healthcare, digital education and e-commerce development. The modern world stands on the threshold of large-scale changes in daily lives of people and the economy of entire regions. Even as we speak, the experts call these transformations as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, inscribing them in consistent history of previous technological explosions. In a special program, Digital Kazakhstan, we tell about how they affect the internal processes in the Republic. And in today's release, we will talk about innovations in the automotive industry sphere. According to the specialist research, the automotive industry today is one of the most efficient and profitable sectors of the world manufacturing industry. This is facilitated by the fact that world automobile manufacturers is growing steadily. So if on the eve of World War II only 4 million automobiles were produced in the world per year, then by the end of 2016 their production had grown almost 24 times and amounted to 95 million units, which is an absolute record for the entire history of mankind. In Kazakhstan, the story is just beginning, and I think it's good that there are plants where at least assembly takes place, and moreover, there are already such plants where welding and painting take place. At least there is a push for further achievements, there are perspectives to move. For explanations to Diaz Valekhan, we address not accidentally. In the automobile community of Kazakhstan, he has long been known for his deep analytical articles and video reviews of the brightest Kazakh auto innovations. Today is wonderful, a sunny Sunday, and this is the time to organize an off-road battle. Recently, he began to conduct the rubric People's Test Drive on his YouTube channel. Within the framework of this project, he has already had a chance to test dozens of cars, including those assembled in Kazakhstani plants, such as Kazakhstani enterprise Saryarka Autoprom, which can be safely called one of the most modern representatives of the automotive industry in Kazakhstan. It was here where the first in the Republic began to produce automobiles using the method of CKD assembly. Now we receive assembly kits completed in disassembled form. Then the welding takes place, after which the moment of coloring takes place. Before painting, there are their own procedures too, about 12 pieces: car body polishing, washing, drying, etc. It is noteworthy that here all major lines are robotic and equipped with high-tech equipment that meets world standards of quality and safety. So on the welding line, special conductors are installed which securely fasten the parts before further processing. The quality of weld made by the contact welding operators is controlled by ultrasonic and infrared sensors. A separate pride of the plant is a modern painting line which serves up to 8 car bodies per hour. Paint spraying is also produced by robots, which allows covering with the highest quality. Next is a complete car assembly, which includes the skin of the cabin and doors, installation of instruments, seats, glasses, engine, gearbox, and chassis. That, in aggregate, provides a 30% localization.
Подтверждение того, что мы соответствуем всем стандартам качества.
The confirmation that we meet all quality standards is that new players come to our production sites. Only this year we signed contracts with 2 new brands. This is Chevy Niva and Ravon. The latter occupies a leading position in the official sales market. This proves that there is production in Kazakhstan and they are interested in Kazakhstani production.
Это доказывает то, что в Казахстане производство есть.
By the way, it was the conveyors of the Kazakhstani plant that brought down the first batch of battery cars of the Chinese brand JAC Motors assembled in Kazakhstan. It is not the engine that is starting, but the electric motor of this car. And here is its simple joystick. And all we need is just to move the selector to position D. We can ride. One of which also got on test drives to Diaz Valekhan. Apart from experimental JACs, about 100 battery cars are traveling across Kazakhstan roads today. Until the 1st of September this year, zero import duties was imposed on their importation into the Republic. Among other advantages motivating to its purchase are saving on fuel, preferential duties for recycling, primary registration, and transport tax absence. However, in view of the high cost of production and the lack of established infrastructure, battery cars for Kazakhstanis are still not an actual alternative to fuel transportation. They are mostly bought by fans of the famous brand Tesla or active fighters for the environment. Often the infrastructure of electric stations is developing by their own forces. I put the charge near the office, but it is not only for my car, but for any other Tesla owner. They can come here and fuel their car absolutely free. This petrol station is the first in Kazakhstan, which is fed entirely from solar energy. Here on the roof of our office is a solar battery system, and charging is connected to it.
Стоят солнечные батареи, система солнечных батарей, вот, и эта зарядка подключена к этой системе.
However, the situation will radically change soon due to its active development of production and assembly of electro buses. The first plant in CIS aimed at implementing of this innovative idea was opened in early 2017 in the Almaty region. Its construction is a joint project of research and production holding, Parasat, and one of the world's largest bus manufacturers, the corporation Higer. Moreover, within the framework of this agreement, it is not only about business partnership, but also joint scientific activity. It's no secret that we have adopted such a program and we will create a design bureau. What is the tricky part of the plant and when does it become full? When it has its own design bureau, when it starts to create, when it starts investing science, when it starts to develop it, when it's working on the cost price. And here, design bureau is the first thing we need to go to. At first, SKD assembly will be performed at the plant, but in time they intend to complicate it and thereby increase the Kazakhstani content. In prospect, it is planned to install domestic glass, hulls, and IT stuffing into buses. The lineup is currently limited to 2 buses for 53 and 110 passengers respectively. The company also assembles and installs charging stations. It is noteworthy that the charging time of the electric bus does not exceed 10 minutes, which greatly simplifies its operation. The batteries are designed for 20,000 cycles. That is, when charging 4 times a day, it is designed for about 15 years of operation. A pleasant bonus for domestic innovators was also the transfer of an exclusive patent for the export of Kazakhstan-built electric buses to the territory of CIS countries, negotiations about which are already underway. A lot of guys from Russia get in touch with us. You will not believe, but almost every week I have negotiations with Russian partners. We met with the Ministry of Energy of Georgia and in Tbilisi and Batumi. The interest is great there, because even with all our realities, our price is also the cheapest. Domestic electro bus, like many other innovations of electric transportation industry, originated in Kazakhstan, was presented in the framework of the international specialized exhibition Expo 2017 in Astana, where it gained a great popularity. After all, if electric cars in Kazakhstan do not surprise anyone, then few people have encountered public transport on electric traction. I want to present you this beauty. Only the new generation gas bus produced in Uzbekistan could argue with him for the audience attention. At the presentation held in the framework of Expo, it was specially noted that in view of already signed first agreements with the Allur Auto Company, and the future assembly of such buses will be carried out also in Kazakhstan. That will significantly expand the transport potential of the state. Of course, not all transport modes are amenable to electronic or gas upgrade. For example, suppliers declare that it is quite problematic to transfer trucks to eco-friendly fuels, and is not popular among consumers. In development matters of commercial technology fields, innovation lies in other aspects, such as model range expansion and international cooperation strengthening.
год назад, то есть летом 2016 года, у нас состоялась встреча с представителями.
A year ago, in the summer of 2016, we had a meeting with representatives of a Minsk plant where we discussed opportunities for cooperation. We can say that we were lucky. MAZ was looking for partners to organize assembling in Kazakhstan. We were looking for just the machinery that MAZ produces. At the meeting of top management in Belarus, we realized that we were speaking the same language, that we perfectly understood what our customers needed, we perfectly understood how assembly and car maintenance happened. That was a full mutual understanding. The final decision of our joint project was made last summer.
Решение принципиально было принято летом прошлого года, что мы пойдем в совместный проект.
Thanks to the reached agreement in summer this year, the automobile assembly plant started serial production of MAZ trucks, carrying out a full cycle of welding, assembly, and painting. The plant is producing 2 models of dump trucks with a lifting capacity of 20 tons.
6501H9, кабина, которую мы производим сварку здесь, она уже по
The cabin, which we are welding here, is already more modern in terms of exterior and interior. It has a different exterior design and the look is more like modern tractor trucks and cars. Accordingly, ergonomics is much better, it is much more convenient and pleasant to be in it.
Соответственно, интерьер, эргономика уже намного лучше, намного удобнее, приятнее находиться.
This year, the company plans to assemble 100 trucks. In the future, the model range of released equipment is planned to expand, and the production volume will be increased to 350 units. Also, negotiations are underway about domestic components usage.
Мы уже достигли договоренность о том, что откидной бор будет
We have already reached an agreement that the flap will be assembled of Kazakhstani components. This is Karaganda metal, Karaganda steel, cut and prepared. It will be here. We have 2 partners in Almaty plants. Now we are negotiating about the glass with Kazstroy Stiklo. We are also currently negotiating about the tires. There are small questions on the dimension. That is, it is such a constant process to increase the share of Kazakhstani content and attraction of more large suppliers from the Republic of Kazakhstan. The issue of increasing the localization percentage at this enterprise is relevant not only for commercial equipment, but also for motor cars. Moreover, it is noteworthy that if only recently only manufacturers cared about the increase of Kazakhstani content in the manufactured automotive equipment, then since the year before last, it became profitable also for consumers. The state made a program of concessional lending to support domestic car collectors. It was possible to take a loan under 4%, and I know a lot of people who bought a car according to this program because the loan rate is quite low, and it can be said that it is a gift from the state for consumers. By early 2017, the conditions for obtaining a preferential auto loan for the purchase of auto of domestic assembly have changed significantly. First of all, this affected the model range of participating automobiles. Due to increase in the cost limit up to 15 million Kazakhstan tenge, Kazakhstanis were able to choose from 63 items instead of 55 offered last year. Thus, absolutely all domestic assembly automobiles became available on credit on special terms. Despite the fact that in view of economic downfall and decline in purchasing power, the past 2 years have been difficult for Kazakhstani car industry. Even today, one can observe that the situation is radically changing. For the first half of 2017, the Kazakhstani car industry produced 4,500 motor cars. This is almost 5 times more than the same period a year earlier. A significant increase in production positively affected the market share of the domestic car industry and allowed to reduce imports by almost 10%. Moreover, the country began to work for exports. Since the beginning of 2017, more than 200 cars have left abroad. Trial shipments went to China, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and the United Arab Emirates. This is more than promising because the capacities of our Kazakhstani plants can, over and above, cover the domestic market, and they need additional and new markets for development of production standards and for the increase of the localization level. Moreover, in this way, the development of the Eurasian Union and Customs Union allows us to export our products to those markets where it is in demand. These statistics confirm that while maintaining positive dynamics, the automotive production in Kazakhstan will soon become a new driver of economy and will allow the country to declare itself as a major car player in the market of the Eurasian Economic Union.